Hello everybody, welcome back to Back Out of the Case. This is Skyflight 44, aka Sect 44, and today I'm going to continue playing some more Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Do you see anything wrong with that time? Do you see anything wrong with how many Shadow Pokemon have been purified? Yes, I have done things since the last time I've played, last time I recorded anything. I stopped recording this around probably early-ish May. Last time I actually uploaded anything for this was in June, early June. Last time I played anything was probably late June. What did I do in that time? Well, not much has actually changed with Bravo Team here. They got a little bit stronger. And in this part I am going to be doing some things in, well, Mount Battle, just to get a little bit stronger, because I really do need to get a little bit stronger. And I kind of want to get Celio, Grimer, and Duskull to evolve. But outside of that, what has actually changed? Why do I have so many more hours played? Well, I changed up Alpha Team, and I also did some things to him. Mighty End is no longer part of the team. Here is Alpha Team. Persian, level 50. Silk Scarf, everything's pretty much the same. Shiftry, 51. And it's still kind of the same. Miracle Seed. Twisted Spoon for God of War. Thunderbolt, Calm Mind, Hypnosis Psychic. Ninetales, I get Facade. It actually has Flamethrower now. Wonderful, wonderful Pokemon now. I really do love it. Charcoal on it. Beedrill. I actually have one of these in X and Y, or for my last X and Y game, I had a Beedrill. It's like fucking level 80 now. Around maybe 78 around there. And this is my Pokemon bank. Because my brother wanted to go and actually play another game of that. Has Sludge Bomb, Twin Needle, and I got it because it had Swords Dance. And that was the only reason why I actually did so. But it also has Agility, which is wonderful. Jolteon, Double Kick, Thunderbolt, Bite, Thunder Wave, and the Magnet. All of them wonderful, level 52 as well. All of these Pokemon are incredibly powerful. Why did I overlevel them? Well, I am using two actual teams. Bravo Team here is actually going to go and be my team for the Final Dungeon. Dark Isle, I believe. However, Alpha Team in there will be used for the final boss. What's so special about the final boss? The final boss has 6 Shadow Pokemon. 6 Shadow Pokemon. 3 of them are 46, I believe, 47 around there, maybe 48. I think it's 46. Tauros, Executor, and something else. It might be a Rhydon. I don't really remember. Then at level 50 it has Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos. Yep, like hell, I'm going to be going in there unprepared. So I made everybody around level 50 so I can actually deal with them, catch them, and possibly get them all. Not to mention Shadow Lugia is going to be right before that. So, right before that too. So if you don't use the Master Ball, you're not going to have a chance to heal. But I think if I were to just go right in there at these levels, I would not be able to get up like past maybe 40, 45 at the most. Which means I'm going to not necessarily get my ass kicked by the final boss, but the fact that you have to try catching them all means, yeah, you're going to be taking damage. And lower level you are, the more damage you're going to take and the worse it's going to become. But I'm going to be doing just areas 5 and 6 for right now. I do want to see if I can actually get... I just want to see if I can get a little bit stronger, show off areas 5 and 6, because I've done this so many times before, trying to get those other guys leveled up. Actually have done this a little bit. I've also done a lot of areas 3 and 4, to get some of these earlier Pokemon up. You do have Levitate, right? Okay. I'll get you and you for this one. Hopefully this isn't going to bite me in the ass, but... Oh well. First one off, I remember what Pokemon you have. You have a Lombre and a Graveler. And big thing about it is the Graveler is going to be the pain in the ass. Or can be the pain in the ass. Lombre, though, is going to fake out one of them. Which is also a pain in the ass, so... Yeah. Ooh, I do have Psychic. But Shadow Ball. Now, one of the things this game started for me this year is basically my love of Pokemon has rekindled, and I've been playing a lot. I played a shitload of X and Y, not even playing the main game, just catching more Pokemon, leveling them up, making new teams, and all that kind of shit. But, actually, do I have Nightshade on Duskull? I think I do. I probably should be using that. It does more damage. But, one of the big things about what has happened to me with Pokemon is I've done something I haven't done in a really long time with Pokemon. Like a decade-long time with Pokemon. I've created, and I've started writing a Pokemon fanfiction. Now, part of me doesn't really want to say fanfiction because I'm not using the Pokemon world. I'm really not even using any specific thing in Pokemon except for the lore and, you know, Pokemon itself. But I've been centering it around two aspects. It's a more realistic world and how it would approach Pokemon. Pokemon are highly integrated into the society. The first thing I wanted to do was just think and write about the intelligence Pokemon, the anime, the Pokemon games, the Pokemon Special manga. Each of them, the intelligence, the sentience of Pokemon, some of them lean more on the animalistic side. Some of them lean a lot more on the actual sentient side. And they're, how do I say this? It's never really consistent. Like in the anime, Pikachu's obviously has, you know, has a large range of emotions, can think complex thoughts. However, at the same time, you also see them have, you know, people raised in farms like Mareep, Miltank, and shit, and they're not treated any different from an actual, you know, an animal, like how we would actually have animals. And I find that so, I'm not going to say interesting, as much as I really should say, well, I could say interesting. But the second thing I wanted to go and really think about, other than how sentient or like the intelligence of a Pokemon is legendary Pokemon. How would they be viewed in a more serious world, in which I think I personally think that legendary Pokemon would be seen as something closer to a nuclear weapon. Now, legendary Pokemon. All the legendary Pokemon in my actual world, in my story, is closer to that of Pokemon Special Ruby and Sapphire Arc level legendary Pokemon. That is the damage that they can do. It's just to tell you about it, it's the entire Groudon versus Kyogre fight. The fight is not. Let's see. Oh, Charm. Shit. Fuck. Oh well, you're useless now. Oh wait, you still have Nightshade. I can still do that. But Kyogre and Groudon fight. Just their mere appearance causes massive damage to Hoenn. And not just that, but it also eventually will cause chaos throughout the entire world. Tsunami hits and floods parts of Hoenn. Not to mention where Groudon actually appears, rivers are completely evaporated. Leaves fucking evaporate. Not to mention gym leaders, pretty much some of the best trainers throughout an actual region cannot actually beat them. Cannot beat any of these legendary Pokemon. And the only way to solve the entire actual conflict is to bring in other legendary Pokemon. They have to bring in a Rayquaza, whichever pronunciation we want to go by. They have to bring in that legendary Pokemon to stop the entire thing. However, they also bring in Reggie-Ice, Reggie-Steel, and Reggie-Steel and Reggie-Rock in order to beat the thing. In order to not necessarily beat those two, but to stop the influence or to contain the power, the excessive power and influence of Groudon and Kyogre as they fight. 3 weeks, I'm not shitting you, 3 weeks at least, constantly in an energy struggle. That is what a legendary Pokemon is like in my world. Some of them are a bit more destructive than others. Like, let's say, UXC is not going to be put on the same level as a Pokemon like Groudon or Palkia. Those two are going to be far more destructive. But then again, that's not going to change the fact that any and all legendary Pokemon can kick ass. Another thing that I've been trying to take in as much lore as I possibly can from the anime, from the manga, well, that specific manga, and from what was it called? The games, especially the games. I've only really taken some liberties in a few areas. I try to stay as close as I possibly can at the game. I have an Excel sheet completely detailing everything, and I've been planning a shitload. I've been writing as well, but I've been planning a shitload on that Excel sheet. I spent probably well over 200 hours on it so far. Just actually, what was it, detailing the levels, the moves. At one point, because of the what legendary Pokemon are, people fear legendary Pokemon. Pokemon fear legendary Pokemon. That's another thing. Just because it's not necessarily shown too much, at least specifically in Pokemon Special, from what I remember. But I remember that this does happen in the anime, but it's more of a don't fuck with the legendary Pokemon as much as legendary Pokemon are actually affecting Pokemon in the anime. But, you know, if Groudon and Kyogre come up, they're going to destroy entire environments. That's going to fuck quite a lot of Pokemon up. That's one thing that I actually think that are completely just... Well, not necessarily. But for the most part, it isn't really looked at in that arc. But Pokemon themselves would fear legendary Pokemon. One of the things that really isn't exactly, I'm not gonna say shown, or it's one of those things that you have to, oh, what's the word? It's more of an interpretation or something you just have to infer from the information you're given. But legendary Pokemon in my actual, in the world story I've created, or I'm creating, are pretty much close to, they can die in combat. They can die from being, you know, just harmed from a lethal wound, but they are outside of that ageless. I'm just sorry, I'm trying to think on the top of my head, but this is so much I've actually done. And not to mention, thinking is also getting me a little bit mixed up when it comes to what I want to say. I've never been good with explaining shit, but actually, let's get Duskull out of here. I'm gonna get out Electrode, but what was I even talking about? That's it. See, that's what happens to me when I actually think too much. But I wanted to create a world in which legendary Pokemon were something to be feared, and because of this, kind of like something like, sort of like a Geneva Convention sort of thing, in which the top actual superpowers in the world, all of the great powers of the world, come together and basically have set up international law. You cannot catch the legendary Pokemon. You can't even get near a legendary Pokemon. It's grounds for execution. Every single legendary Pokemon is monitored in the world, and when they move, they're going to continue to be monitored. There's only two of them that aren't monitored. The first one is Mew, because Mew, nobody's ever going to find Mew, and that's the only reason why it's not monitored, because nobody even thinks it needs to be, because it's completely fruitless. It's untraceable. You can't find the damn thing. It can go invisible. If you actually look into the Pokedex entries, it says that Mew can actually go invisible. It's the Phantom Pokemon, that if you actually see it yourself, it's something kind of miraculous. And, well, that's the same thing that actually happens. It's, wait, Hitmontop actually got... Interesting. Okay. I don't see how... Oh, that might be why. Yeah, it got static. I was wondering why it had all of its health and it was paralyzed when I did Thunderbolt. I guess I'm sleepy. But, damn, I don't even... Oh, yeah, that's fine. The only other Pokemon that is monitored is Arceus, and that thing's in a different dimension, so... No need to really pay attention to it. Or, I think it's in a different dimension. I think it's what Pokedex says. But, yeah, that's, you know, those two Pokemon are the two you do not want to be in a horrible person's hands, because Arceus it has created in the games, Palkia, Giratina, and Dialga. Now, what's to say it can't create any... It was supposed to create the entire universe or something like that. It created the world, it created Pokemon. It created all the legendary Pokemon. It can do that again, as it's shown in the games. It can do that again if it really needs to. So, if somebody actually gets it, they can make any legendary Pokemon they want. Now, why is Mew also in that category? Mew's two things. Number one, Mew is a DNA bank. Again, no shit. If you want to clone something, get yourself a Mew. It can transform into all the legendaries. I made it so that it's one of the liberties I've, taken, so as not to break the actual story. Is a Ditto can't transform into any legendary Pokemon. It can transform into any regular Pokemon. Only Mew can transform into legendary Pokemon. What does that mean also? Mew can also transform into Arceus, which is another reason why nobody wants anybody to get Mew. That would suck. That would suck quite a lot. If, oh shit, really? Swift doesn't do enough damage. I should have just did Thunderball on that son of a bitch. Oh well. But, yeah, the entire story pretty much starts out with legendary Pokemon going missing. The world pretty much the world becomes to panic, and as you would guess, a lot of the great powers start suspecting each other. This is ground for something close to a Warble. It doesn't hit that point because eventually the people that actually are trying to catch legendary Pokemon do start to flaunt their power a little bit. And then, that's just an early story thing. But the main character basically finds or used to be a researcher. Used to be because he has to go on this journey to catch legendary Pokemon. But he's basically is one, if not the only survivor at his lab, in which Mew was put into a fight. The another thing about it is brainwaves. Psychic type Pokemon have specific brainwave, just specific brainwaves that you can actually track. Anytime they use their psychic powers, another psychic type Pokemon that's powerful enough to catch on to it can definitely that they can actually okay, that's not really, I don't really want Curse all too much now. But I do have that. It doesn't really matter. Yep, stop teaching it. But and this is one of the things about it. This also kind of makes some psychic type moves, like teleport. Teleport really isn't all that useful. It is useful, and at the same time it's not, because any psychic type Pokemon that uses teleport, which is only a few, can easily be tracked by another strong enough psychic type that can still sense that power. And this is sort of another liberty, but I thought I sounded, or I liked it. Let's just say that. But one of the things is Mew isn't something that you can really catch. What happens, and this is one of the big oh shit moments in the story, is, do you know what kind of Pokemon can actually easily find out or would be able to track another through some kind of brainwaves? and first actually knowing what kind of brainwaves to look for? Well, a clone. Or the same type of Pokemon. That's when Mewtwo comes into play. The evil organization will create Mewtwo. However, it's not something like Pokemon, you know, the first movie in the anime, or something like, you know, the actual games. Just because you've created, you know, such a powerful Pokemon, doesn't mean it's going to start at level 70. It's gonna start at level 1. You still pretty much created a newborn. It's just that its potential is off the fucking scale, which Mewtwo, especially with the Mega Evolutions, if you actually look at the statistics, is really, really fucking high. So, I don't know if it's 68 or if it's 700. I believe Mewtwo was 600, and the Mega Evolutions generally give around 100 extra stat boost. So, I don't really remember what it is exactly, but you know, Mewtwo in the story, and this is something that's probably gonna piss off some die-hard Mewtwo fans out there. Mewtwo's easily the weakest legendary just because it has absolutely no experience in any of this shit. And so it has to, over time, fight until it gets strong enough to contend with legendary Pokemon. Which means that, obviously, the people that used Mewtwo to find Mew weren't able to actually beat down Mew, because Mew beat the fuck out of Mewtwo. Just because, think of it more like Mewtwo's at level 50, Mew's at level 90, sort of thing. Obviously, Mew is going to win, but the entire lab gets destroyed, and no. And it's just this entire Mew, which, you know, legendary Pokemon, basically sets this guy out on a quest to catch as much legendary Pokemon as he possibly can, and also free all the ones from the organization that's trying to catch them all. And I've been trying to treat it. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to treat it sort of, in a lot of ways, like psychologically. What would it be like for a person to just... It's the entire being hunted thing. The character, what is it like to be hunted? What is it like to be nearly killed? What is it like to, when you fear the Pokemon people send at you? What if a human were to just try and stab you at the same time, when all of you Pokemon are, you know, somewhere else, or just fighting at the moment and can't help you? What would happen if, you know, somebody just tried stabbing you? What would that put into your mind? And I'm also just having a little more fun with everything. It's less because it's not this isn't the Pokemon games. This isn't the anime. Hell, this isn't even the Pokemon special manga. This, when you actually, a military, any military force isn't just going to, when faced off against one person, have a one-on-one fight the entire time. They're just going to send as many Pokemon after you. You're going to have, you're not going to have 6 Pokemon. You're not going to have 12 Pokemon. It's going to be far higher than that. It's going to be far, far higher than that. And it's basically turning the main character, not necessarily, he's not necessarily going to be as much a trainer in the traditional sense when it comes to the Pokemon media out there, but more of a general in which, you know, again, it goes back down to the intelligence thing for Pokemon. They can think for themselves. They don't necessarily need to be told how to do everything, which is something, you know, it is something that kind of can get annoying in the anime, more so than anything else. Just sometimes. And now, I think it would be Pokemon wouldn't necessarily, and the games it's fine because you are playing an actual game, but in the anime, you would think that a trainer would more fine-tune and specifically tell a Pokemon what to do to win, but not necessarily tell them each and every single action that they should actually do. And more on that would be more of the main character, how he would have to do things. He would be the general, he would be the manager. He would have to go and be more of a coach, more so than an actual trainer. And instead of sending commands, basically thinking, you know, managing where the Pokemon are, who they're fighting, what reinforcements you have, what to actually go and use. And at the same time, outside of this, while a lot of Pokemon will help, you know, carry the tons of supplies they have to actually freaking bring along, because when you're singled out as a terrorist, you're not going to be able to do everything you want to do. But it's just, the Pokemon are used closer to human sometimes. Like a lot of, you can send them out to like let's think, Pokemon, and then the Pokemon anime. I believe it was the Crystal Onyx episode, and this is because I did see that recently. I have to actually watch some of the stuff so I can actually, you know, remember some lore. But the character of the episode basically was a glassmaker, and what he actually had is his the Pokemon he actually had was a Charmeleon. Charmeleon was, you know, basically there as the fucking fire dude, but you know, he could tell him to, you know, lower heat, shit like that, to, you know, get the actual product that he, you know, would want. The Pokemon, a Pokemon can learn how to create something like that. It's just, in the actual story, there's far more things that the main character would have to do than he can do himself, and he would have to send out Pokemon to do it. As another thing that I've actually wanted to get in my story, and that I wanted to get any Pokedex entry except for a few like Yamask. Yamask is not going to be used, the Pokedex entry, in which one of them is basically born every single time a child dies. I think that's what it was. That would never be used, because that's just fucking depressing and nightmarish. But something like something like Haunter or Gengar, in which they're very actual. Those two Pokemon are extremely dangerous. You meet one at the middle of the night, that's a deadly situation. In which, you know, you don't want to stay in that. But, it's just a lot of things like that, like Gardevoir can see into the future, Delphox can see into the future, Gothitelle can see into the future. I'm using those that lore, but I'm not. To me, I'm thinking they can. I'm limiting it only to something like they could see like a few minutes into the future. At which Gardevoir, I don't believe Gardevoir can only see into the trainer's future, but I know Gothitelle, I believe, can only see into Gothitelle's trainer's future. However, something like Xatu, which that's the entire gimmick to Xatu, Xatu would probably be able to see far more in the future. I don't know. I would have to actually look into the anime because I think there was a specific actual episode for that. I think there was from my memory because I think I've seen it, but that would be something to actually think about. And which, you know, some others like, you know, just for actual protection, the main character would actually utilize a lot of the added things some of the Pokemon can do in their Pokedex entries, like Gengar. Gengar is by far the most used Pokemon for defense for himself, because anytime he goes to any place that's dangerous, he has Gengar out. But you'll never see Gengar, because Gengar is in his shadow. But that's what Gengar can do. Gengar can actually go into people's shadows, you know, fuck with them, and then steal their life force. That's something Gengar can actually go and do. And that's quite... what's the word? I'm not gonna say fucked up, but scary. That is very scary. The Pokemon universe is a frightening one. Damn straight is it frightening. But if your Gengar actually likes you, if you can trust a Gengar, then it can go into your shadow. And basically, if something gets too close, it can come out and do something. Or even in it can just use its psychic powers. That's something that can happen. And, well, I just find... I just in general... I enjoy all of these situations I can actually create with this. Just create with the actual Pokedex entries, especially. It's just so freaking interesting what you can actually do. I can't stop thinking about it. I actually was thinking of how could I actually create a chapter very much like a Hitman game, just using Pokemon and the and some of the powers they can do in the Pokedex entries. Like one of them that I was actually thinking about is it's only in one Pokedex entry, but Ninetales. I believe it was in Ruby. The Pokedex entry for that said that if you actually look into its eyes, it has this red glare in its eyes. It can actually control the minds of other beings, which is interesting, really, really interesting. The fact that if you actually had a Ninetales, you could probably go and, you know, you could literally, like security, get them to move around in places that you could actually probably get them to move around in places which they probably shouldn't. You know, just to get by, and they really wouldn't know a thing. And just having something like maybe like a Gengar, in which again putting it into shadow. One of the things that Gengar can do, and this is something that, you know, old ghosts generally do, is the entire what was it called? You know how when there's a ghost in the room, apparently the room goes down like 10 degrees or something. Even something like that, you could actually get a like if a Gengar senses something but you don't notice, the Gengar can basically put the chill on you. That came out stupid, but that's basically what it can be. And then you can actually go and it could tell you silently that there's something near. Like another one, Luxray. Luxray can actually see through metal. Luxray can see through a lot of things. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can see through other things. However, Luxray, and I believe it was more in the Luxio's actual Pokedex entries, in which Luxio strikes the fur, I believe, of other Luxio to send them electrical signals, which is part of how they communicate. I remember in that the Pokemon Special, the Luxio and later Luxray that I believe Pearl gets is basically is ostracized by its actual what's the word? It's being ostracized by its pack, sort of to say, and it's all because of its what was it? Its actual claws were basically not necessarily cut but broken, and which it really couldn't do that, I guess. And I believe that's when Pearl actually got the Luxio to strike the fur of the other Luxio. I don't really remember too much of that because I haven't read the Diamond and Pearl saga in a while. I'm overdue. I really love that actual manga, but as you can tell, I'm a Pokemon fan. But I just think that I'm definitely gonna have to use that. Actually, let's go and dig and beat that guy down. Oh, that's not gonna be fun. Oh, you're still alive. Good. Dig should help. But, what's that? What am I trying to think of? Luxray. How? Because, you know, Luxray, Luxio, they send signals to others of its kind through, you know, electronically. Not electronically, but electrically. Through electric signals. How this could help a trainer is like if somebody were to actually a Luxray could see over a wall or like see through a wall, see if people are there, and then if the trainer puts his palm, like puts his hand on Luxio's fur, it could probably send out a signal, like some amount of electric pulse. Maybe a weak one for maybe like a weak one for no, 2 weak pulses for yes, let's say. At this point, you know, you could probably, it's just another way a trainer could use a Pokemon to help them out in situations like that. Stupid situations like that, in which you know, you can do it silently as well. It's just utilizing the Pokedex entries. You can make so many interesting situations, and it's so cool. I really enjoy just going and thinking about all this. Fuck. Grimer, damn it. Well, your special defense isn't all that high anyway. I think I'm only going to be doing one of these areas because I don't think I can actually go and do two. But, oh well, let's see if we can actually... Nightshade. And then Thunderbolts. That should work. There's a lot I haven't actually told you about the story. Like, there's the entire ID thing that I've been, you know, that's actually in the games themselves, and which is the original trainer's ID. That would be pretty stupid in an actual story. In a realistic story, that would be pretty stupid. And I'm thinking the actual what's in my story is it's not the original trainer, but the current trainer. In the Pokemon anime, it's actually said that if you throw a Pokeball at an already caught Pokemon, the Pokeball is not going to work. That's the entire reason why the Snag Machine, it was actually created. Because it basically, that function is no longer there. From what I'm getting at with the Snag Machine. That would allow you to catch a Pokemon that's already been caught. In my story, I've actually taken the ID. The ID is... Also the Pokeball also has an ID that is registered with the government. Because, you know, you always have to have that. But, I'm actually going to be changing these two around. These two are strong enough. Let's go and see if we can get anything on Grimer. Especially Electro. Electro is going to be one of our powerhouses. We're definitely need Electro being stronger. But, Pokemon cannot tell what's the difference between, Pokemon can sense that there's an ID. There's an electrical signature. That's all I can think of that would actually be there. But there is some signature on Pokemon that basically says, you know, this Pokemon is this trainer's Pokemon. That's the ID. However, wild Pokemon and an actual trainer's Pokemon can sense that something is caught or not, but not necessarily who the trainer is. They know a signature is there, but they cannot differentiate between them, sort of. And it's just, you can't catch something that's actually, you can't catch something that's been already caught before. However, something that you can actually do, and which I'm really having quite a lot of fun with. Actually, damn it, I should have attacked Mistress with that. The Bayleaf's already going to suffer anyway. But, oh shit. Thank you. But, damn it, what was it called? One of the things, this is another thing that actually happened, and one of the reasons why why security doesn't have much of a problem when it comes to people using Pokemon to get into places. Because an ID basically tells the security's Pokemon especially, that there's a trainer there. They have a Pokemon there. Get rid of them. That's the thing. However, this actually allows people to temporarily release their Pokemon. And the thing about it is, releasing your Pokemon doesn't mean that they're, you break any bond, that they're not going to listen to you. It just means that, they're... Oh, crap. I was confused. Thank you. You can release your Pokemon, and they're technically wild. They lose that ID signature. And then you can basically use them, and like if you have a Gengar or Mischievous and you're fucking around with the security, all they're going to think is that's a wild Pokemon, shoo it away. Granted, this allows for somebody else to catch your Pokemon. That's the only problem. However, there are workarounds for a lot of things, and I just find thinking and creating a world like this so invigorating. Not to mention the fact that because you actually, again, you're not going to have 6 Pokemon per actual person. Well, at least for the protagonist and any of his allies. If they're walking with them, if they're traveling with them, they're using several Pokemon. Can't really do that. Acid armor, please. Ghost is still physical, so I don't think I'm going to be doing too badly. Oh, fuck. Wrong one. Did not want that to happen. It could have been useful on Grimer, but not the other one. Oh, well. There's only one thing, another thing that I've taken liberties when it's come to the mechanics of the games. And that's the fact that I'm not using... what is it? Actually, attack that. I'm not necessarily sticking to the entire, you can only use 4 moves part of the game. That works in a game. That helps when it comes to the games, to make sure that you have multiple Pokemon. But in a story sense, that's stupid. That is really stupid. What is causing an actual Pokemon to, well, just forget? Why do they need to forget a move in order to learn another one? That doesn't make too much sense. You could probably say that it has something to do with, with the fact that if they're powers, they can only register like 4 different powers. But then something like Tackle starts making it... It sounds pretty stupid. But, actually, wait. Yeah, the other one was Grimer. I can still do this well enough. Oh well. So, I don't want to throw out it, because, you know, if having an entire move list for each and every single Pokemon would be aggravating. So I thought, you know, when it comes to story purposes, if you have too few moves, then it becomes quite apparent that, you know, you have each and every single Pokemon have to forget moves. I'm trying to keep it there without necessarily bringing that to light. Please attack Ariados. Fuck. But I'm trying to actually have that without bringing that little thing to light, which I can actually do. I think 5 moves is too few to actually have. Only having 5 moves per Pokemon is too few to mask in a story. You know, the entire forgetting thing. Because, again, that is just purely in the story sense stupid. But without necessarily wanting to get it out, you know, I want to keep it there. 7, on the other hand, is far too much. 7 is basically, why the hell are you even bothering? Why bother? I think that 6 is a good... I really do that 6 is pretty good for trying to keep it there, but at the same time mask that gimmick. I hope you get it. I've talked basically an hour on this subject, and I could probably talk far more because at heart I'm a writer. I just enjoy creating stories. And I think I'm so going to lose that Pokemon next turn. I'm so going to be losing Ariados. But there's too few of them left, so let's go Nightshade down there. And Aerial Ace on Combuskin. I can still win this. Because... oh shit, it does no Rock Tomb. And I did get a Nightshade off on it. Come on, take it out. Fucking hell. And it has Rock Tomb again. Oh yeah, Fearo's kind of dead on this one. However, I can probably... Well, it's not necessarily... yeah, I'm gonna win this. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm gonna win this. If they go after Fearo now, I'm just going to be able to attack Combuskin. Why did they go last? Fearo didn't even go down. Oh well. I'm probably going to be attempting to beat this as much... I don't know if I'm going to do a complete game of this game. I don't really know. I'm definitely going to be beating the game. I'm definitely going to be getting to the point where I've gotten every single shot of Pokemon and at least beaten the main game. I don't know how much of everything else I'm going to be doing, but I'm at least going to be doing that. And I'm probably going to be actually finishing off Mount Battle as well. But next time, we're actually going to be, because we've actually gotten our Bravo team, definitely has increased in strength, especially Ariados Dusclops. Didn't get myself my Muck, but oh well, at least Electro leveled up twice. But, see ya everybody. In the next part, we continue with the actual main game. Off to Citydark Isle, I believe.